Hello viewers, I'm your host Shivangi Mishra with another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show. Advancing its vision of a developed India by 2047, India is strengthening global trade ties. At the second India-EU Trade and Technology Council meeting in New Delhi, both sides reaffirmed their commitment to digital cooperation, clean energy, resilient supply chains and investment security. Key pledges include collaboration on AI, semiconductors and green technologies to drive future growth. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen arrived in New Delhi to strengthen EU-India ties, enhance trade, technology and climate cooperation, and advance the India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor for global connectivity. She met Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and both leaders agreed to push for the conclusion of a free trade pact this year. Von der Leyen's visit, accompanied by EU leaders, comes amid rising geopolitical tensions, with Brussels and New Delhi set to outline key areas for closer cooperation as part of their strategic partnership. She emphasized that challenging times present opportunities for stronger EU-India collaboration.
We both stand to lose from a world of spheres of influence and isolationism, and we both stand to gain from a world of cooperation and working together. Because we can offer each other distinctive alternatives and tools to make ourselves stronger, more secure, and more sovereign in today's world.
हमने अपनी टीम्स को एक पारस्परिक लाभकारी बायलैटरल फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट को एफटीए को इस वर्ष के अंत तक संपन्न करने का निर्देश दिया है.
According to the European Commission, the EU was India's largest trading partner in 2023, with goods trade worth 124 billion euros, accounting for 12.2% of India's total trade, ahead of the USA and China. India ranked 9th among the EU's trading partners, making up 2.2% of its total trade. Trade in goods grew by 90% over the last decade, while services trade reached 59.7 billion euros in 2023. The EU's investment in India stood at 108.3 billion euros in 2022, with 6,000 European companies operating in the country.
The potential is immense. Europe is already India's biggest trading partner. Last year alone, we exchanged 120 billion worth of goods. And over the past 2 decades, our trade has tripled. All this is proof that our businesses and people want to work together.
Her Royal Highness Princess Astrid of Belgium led a high-profile economic mission to India, strengthening Belgium-India ties in trade, investment and technology. Accompanied by a diverse delegation, she met Indian leaders, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi, to explore collaboration in defense, infrastructure, renewable energy and digital innovation. Key highlights included the inauguration of industrial projects, discussions on women's leadership and cooperation in space research. The visit reinforced Belgium's role in India's growth and deepened bilateral strategic partnerships.
We are very compatible, so there are a lot of challenges in India for which we have the solutions. For instance, waste management, water management, a lot of innovation. We have the most important research institution on semiconductors in the world. So those are all things that India can help. And the other way around, there's also a lot in India that can help the Flemish economy. For instance, you have a lot of workforce, a lot of people who are very high skilled, very strong in digitalization, and some other things. Also students that come to Flanders. So there's a lot of things there where the one has the challenges and the other one has the solutions. So we have to exchange those?
We talked about collaboration. I think we need to work together even more. I will put a military attaché at the embassy of Belgium as soon as possible, and we are going to make a cooperation agreement also between Belgium and India, and your beautiful country. So it was a really good meeting. We will have more MOUs, more collaboration, and we will do more Make in India as well. And we have to work together because India is a beautiful country and is very good on technology.
The back-to-back high-level visits of European leaders underscore India's growing global influence and commitment to strengthening trade, technology and strategic partnerships. As India deepens its ties with the EU and Belgium, these collaborations pave the way for mutual economic growth, innovation and security. The rise of the National Citizen Party in Bangladesh is marking a new chapter in the country's political turmoil. With its platform driven by young leaders, the NCP signals a generational shift. However, its ties to Islamist ideologies and promises of sweeping reforms have raised concerns about the future direction of the country. While some view the NCP as a potential force for a change, its rise could deepen the nation's political divisions and challenge the secular democratic principles that have long defined Bangladesh. Take a look.
The emergence of new political parties like the National Citizen Party in Bangladesh is undoubtedly adding complexity to an already tense and fragmented political landscape. The NCP's platform, largely driven by young members under 40, signals a generational shift in Bangladesh politics. However, this new political force comes at a time when the nation is grappling with deeply polarized environment fraught by accusation of political suppressions, corruption, and a growing sense of disillusionment among the people. A particularly significant aspect of the NCP's rise is its alleged ties to Islamist ideologies. With a majority Muslim population, Bangladesh's future could potentially be shaped by more conservative or even Islamist influence if parties like the NCP gain traction. This could create a shift in national policy, potentially altering everything from social norms to international relations. The party's ideology and generational shift of its leadership may challenge the secular democratic structure that has long been a defining characteristic of Bangladesh.
আমাদের তো গণঅভ্যুত্থানের শুরুতে বা পরেও খুব পরিকল্পনা ছিল না যে আমরা সরকার গঠন করব বা আমরা নিজেরাই সরকারের পার্ট হব। এটা প্রেক্ষাপটে আমাদের উপরে এই দায়িত্বটা এসেছে নেতৃত্বের কারণে। কিন্তু আমার কাছে মনে হয়েছে যে রাজনৈতিক শক্তিটা বাইরে তৈরি হয়েছে সেই শক্তিটাকে আসলে সংহত করা প্রয়োজন, সেটাকে নেতৃত্ব দেওয়া, গাইড করাটা প্রয়োজন এবং সেই জায়গায় আমার কন্ট্রিবিউশনটা বেশি দরকার। এটা শুধু দল বা গোষ্ঠী কোনো স্বার্থের জায়গা থেকে না, বরং একটা ন্যাশনাল ইন্টারেস্টের জায়গা থেকে এই মুহূর্তে বাংলাদেশে আরেকটি রাজনৈতিক দল গড়ে তুললে এটা এই প্রজন্মের আকাঙ্ক্ষাকে ধারণ করতে পারবে এবং আমাদের যে গণতান্ত্রিক উত্তরণের কথা আমরা বলতেছি সেই ক্ষেত্রে সহায়ক হবে।
The Students Against Discrimination group's prominent role in the 2024 protests that led to Sheikh Hasina's ousting represent a critical turning point in Bangladesh political history. What began as a movement to challenge public sector job quotas soon escalated into a nationwide uprising that saw thousands of young people rallying for political reform and more inclusive system. This dramatic shift in the political landscape forced Hasina to flee to India, creating a power vacuum that opened the door for new political forces, including the National Citizen Party. While some view the NCP as a potential force for change, there are significant concern that its rise could increase Bangladesh's already precarious political situation, making it worse instead of better.
তারা বলতেছে প্রথম রিপাবলিককে প্রয়োজনীয়তা শেষ হয়ে গিয়েছে কিনা, কেন আমাদের দ্বিতীয় রিপাবলিকের কথা বলা লাগতেছে। তা আমরা বলতেছি যে আমাদের যে বিদ্যমান সংবিধান, যে বিদ্যমান রিপাবলিক, তার অধীনেই কিন্তু একটা ফ্যাসিজম তৈরি হয়েছে। গত 54 বছর তার অধীনেই বারবার গণতন্ত্র মুখ থুবড়ে পড়েছে এবং সর্বশেষ এরকম একটি গণহত্যার মতো ঘটনা সংঘটিত হয়েছে। আমাদের এই সংবিধান কিন্তু আমাদের মানবাধিকার রক্ষা করতে পারে নাই, গুম হয়েছে মানুষ, আমাদের ভোটাধিকার রক্ষা করতে পারে নাই। ফলে সংবিধানের প্রতি জনগণের সেই আস্থা নেই। ফলে আমাদের নতুন করে যদি আমরা সেই আস্থা তৈরি করতে চাই, আমাদের সেই সাংবিধানিক ভিত্তি পরিবর্তন আসলে প্রয়োজন।
As Bangladesh struggled to chart a path forward amid political upheaval, the emergence of the National Citizen Party adds further uncertainty. With promises of sweeping reforms and an ideological shift, the NCP's true impact remains to be seen. As early elections loom on the horizon, the country faces an uncertain future.
Time now for Asia This Week, the stories from across the continent.
Pakistanis and an Afghan national living in Islamabad called a new potential US travel ban unfortunate, saying it could affect young Pakistanis who invested money to study in US universities. A new travel ban by President Donald Trump could bar people from Afghanistan and Pakistan from entering the US based on a government review of countries' security and vetting risk. Filipino Catholics in Manila prayed for Pope Francis' health as they observed Ash Wednesday. The Pope was admitted to Rome's Gemelli Hospital on February 14 after experiencing difficulty breathing for several days and being diagnosed with double pneumonia. Ash Wednesday marks the beginning of the 40-day Lent season that Catholics observe in commemoration of the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, when they are called upon to fast, pray, and reflect. South Korea and Singapore participated in amphibious drills with Thailand and the United States on Monday as part of the annual Cobra Gold military exercise. The drills, staged on a beach in eastern Thailand, started with an airstrike followed by an amphibious landing and rehearsed clashes between defending and attacking forces striving to capture the opposing side's beachhead.
Pakistan's suppression of dissent has come under fresh scrutiny following a violent crackdown on students in Sindh. Recently, security forces launched a brutal assault on Sindh University students in Jamshoro, using batons and tear gas to disperse those protesting the construction of water channels that would redirect Indus River water to irrigate vast tracts of land in Punjab. A report.
In yet another display of Pakistan's authoritarian suppression of marginalized communities, Sindhi students were met with severe police brutality while exercising their democratic right to protest. The students, affiliated with Jai Sindh Student Federation and Jai Sindh Qaumi Mahas factions, were peacefully demonstrating against the forced construction of canals designed to divert Sindh's lifeline, the Indus River, to Punjab. The police responded with unprovoked violence, injuring many and arresting at least 10 students.
असांजी पुलिस ॿ दफ़ा रस्ता रोकी कई आहे, बल्कि ही शागिर्दनि जो हिकिड़ो पुरअमन धरणो आहे जेको हिननि एक्स्ट्रा जेके केनाल्स हया आहिनि उन्हनि जे ख़िलाफ़ आहे। असां पंहिंजे सिंध जे पाणीअ ते पंहिंजो धाड़ो न हणण ॾींदासीं। असांजे शागिर्दनि खे ज़ख़्मी करे कुझु खंबे विया आहिनि, कुझु खे ज़ख़्मी हालत में तई छॾे विया आहिनि। इहा किथां जो इंसाफ़ आहे? असां हिकिड़ो पुरअमन शागिर्द आहियूं, असां मेहरान ऐं सिंध यूनिवर्सिटी जा शागिर्द आहियूं, जेको सिंपल असांजो मुतालबो इहो आहे त असांजो पाणीअ ते धाड़ो न हयो वञे। असांजी 12 खां 18 मिलियन एकड़ ज़मीन बंजर पई आहे। हिननि जो इहो केनाल सिस्टम सिंध खे वधीक बदहाली, बुखाली ऐं पाणीअ जी खोट ॾांहुं धिके पियो। असां हिन शइ खे कॾहिं बि कंहिं बि सूरत हाल में मंज़ूर न कंदासीं। जे उन सबबु हे असांजे शागिर्दनि खे ज़ख़्मी कंदा त हे सिचुएशन अञा वधीक ख़राब पिया कनि पंहिंजे हथनि सां।
According to reports, security forces used indiscriminate baton charges, tear gas and even live rounds to disperse the students, exposing Pakistan's blatant disregard for human rights and democratic freedoms. The Jai Sindh Freedom Movement condemned the state's violent repression, calling it an attempt to crush Sindhi identity and resistance.
आज मैं इंतहाई दुख और गम और गुस्से के साथ ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि सिंध यूनिवर्सिटी के मासूम तलबा पर जो रियासती जबर, शेलिंग, लाठीचार्ज, गोलियां चलाने और वेश्याना तशद्दुद के वाक़यात सामने आए हैं, हम इनकी सख्त तरीन अल्फाज में मज़म्मत करते हैं। ये तलबा कोई गैर कानूनी मुतालबा नहीं कर रहे थे। ये सिंध की बका, सिंध के पानी, सिंध के मुस्तकबिल के लिए खड़े हुए थे। सिंध के दरिया पर जबरन कैनाल बनाने के खिलाफ पुरअमन एहतजाज करना इनका आईनी और कानूनी और जमहूरी हक था, लेकिन रियासती इदारों ने एक बार फिर जुल्म और जबर का हथियार इस्तेमाल करते हुए इनकी आवाज़ को दबाने की नाकाम कोशिश की।
The construction of canals on the Indus River has been a long-standing issue, with Sindhi nationalist organization accusing the Pakistani state of depriving Sindh of its rightful share of water. The diversion of Indus water has led to worsening droughts, agriculture collapse and forced displacement in Sindh, while Punjab continues to benefit at the expense of the province's ecological and economical survival. Activists argue that the Pakistan policy towards Sindh are part of a broader colonial-style exploitation where the province's land, rivers and natural resources are systematically plundered while its people are subjected to state violence and political marginalization. The JSFM and other nationalist groups have now called on international human rights organizations, including the United Nations, Amnesty International and the Human Rights Watch, to take immediate action against Pakistan's atrocities in Sindh. They demand the immediate release of arrested students and an end to police violence.
हम आलमी इदारों से अपील करते हैं, यूनाइटेड नेशन, एमनेस्टी इंटरनेशनल, ह्यूमन राइट्स वॉच और दीगर आलमी इंसानी हुकूक की तंजीमों से मुतालबा करता हूँ कि वो पाकिस्तानी रियासत के इन जालिमाना कार्रवाइयों का नोटिस ले और इंसानी हुकूक के संगीन खिलाफ वर्जियों में मुलविस पाकिस्तानी सती इदारों के खिलाफ कार्रवाई करें। GSN फ्रीडम मूवमेंट ये वाज़े करती है कि सिंध के तलबा की जदोजहद हमारी कौमी तहरीक का एक मजबूत और अहम हिस्सा है।
Despite Pakistan's heavy-handed repression, Sindhi students and activists have vowed to continue their struggle against the state exploitation. The people of Sindh refuse to be silenced, and their resistance against Islamabad authoritarianism is growing stronger.
Let's now move to Nepal's Lumbini, the birthplace of Lord Buddha, where hundreds of newly ordained monks from around the world gathered for a sacred ordination ceremony, followed by the chanting of the revered Tripitaka scriptures at the Mayadevi temple. This profound act of devotion not only honors Buddha's teachings, but also strengthens the global commitment to the Buddhist principles of peace, wisdom and harmony, uniting diverse cultures in a shared spiritual journey. On March 5th, the sacred birthplace of Lord Buddha, Lumbini, became a vibrant gathering place for hundreds of newly ordained monks, each representing a tapestry of cultures from across the globe: Thailand, Indonesia, Sri Lanka and beyond. With hearts full of devotion, they came together for a sacred ordination ceremony, marking a powerful moment of spiritual rebirth. Once ordained, the monks joined in unison to chant the Tripitaka, the timeless collection of Buddha's teachings, at the serene Mayadevi temple. Their collective prayer echoed through the air, a testament to the shared faith, unity and reverence for Lord Buddha's enduring wisdom.
लुम्बिनी यो एरियामा भएको हामी पनि यही एरियाको नजिकको भएको हुनाले यहाँ चाहिँ चर्मणै भएर चाहिँ यहाँ चाहिँ भगवान बुद्धको देशनाहरू देनहरूलाई चाहिँ हामीले अभिवृद्धि गर्नको लागि र गाउँ नगरमा देश विदेशमा चाहिँ यसको चाहिँ प्रभाव पार्नको लागि भनेर हामीहरूले
The chanting of the Tripitaka in Lumbini holds profound significance. Devotees from around the world see it as a spiritual commitment to uphold the core values of Buddhism: peace, wisdom and harmony.
The recitation of the Tripitaka, the precious Tripitaka, is a holy and sacred act, a direct connection to the Buddha's teachings that have guided countless beings for more than 2,500 years.
In the tranquil surroundings of Lumbini, the energy of these monks and devotees creates an unforgettable atmosphere of reverence, reminding the world of the enduring power of Buddha's message. The harmony among the monks, the devotees, and the ancient landscape of Lumbini serves as a vivid affirmation that the values of wisdom, peace, and harmony remain as relevant today as they were more than 2,500 years ago. Lumbini stands as a testament to the power of spiritual unity. And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Goodbye and take care.